Alicia Media. Today I have the pleasure of chatting to a SONY award-winning presenter, author, documentary maker and music journalist. She has presented for SkyArts, Palladia, VH1 America and the BBC, just to name a few. You can catch her on your screens yearly presenting a Download Festival, and her podcast, Music and Me, features some of the biggest names in rock. It's Kylie Olsson. Hello.
Hey Alex, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. I mean, we're doing this interview like this because obviously we're in lockdown still. So it's definitely interesting times, shall we say.
Certainly. How has lockdown been treating you at the moment? Have you been getting up to much?
No, well, actually, I say no, but yes, I've been doing loads. I've just started to learn how to play the guitar.
Yeah.
So that's been amazing in that sense because I've been practicing every day. So that's great. And also I've been cooking loads, which is something which I've never really done before. So I've quite enjoyed that. So yeah.
Cool. Have you got any tips for beginners, for people who are just recently learning how to play guitar? Because I know I started picking one up recently as well. So.
Oh, did you? Okay. So tips for beginners. I mean, I dabbled a little. So my idea was to start playing guitar in January, basically after the new year. And I didn't really take it seriously. I, would basically pick it up for 10 minutes a week type thing, which of course is not enough. And since I've been in lockdown, I've been doing at least half an hour every day. And I have improved significantly. It's incredible how much I've improved. And I never thought I would say this, but for the first time in my life, I'm actually pleased that I've got dry skin on my hands. I never thought I would say that, but.
You started out as well playing saxophone at college, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. How did you decide to stop doing that kind of thing? Unless you're still doing, you kind of do it privately.
No, I think it was just more that I was playing the saxophone and then I got to the point where I thought, you know what, I am not very good. I'm not a very good musician. I think maybe I'll just talk about it instead, and that's what I decided to do really. And I haven't played my sax for quite a few years now. And the guitar has always spoken to me anyway. I suppose because I love rock music, the guitar is such an important part of that. And I can't sing. So it was more that I'm not a very good musician. I don't want to be a musician. I just enjoy playing. So yeah.
What is it about rock music that excites you?
What is it about it that excites me? I would say, well, it is very much the guitar. It's the lyrics. I love music that has a message. So I like protest songs and stuff like that. Springsteen, he's always singing about things that are going on in the world and music that you can, I find it's music that you can really relate to, or it's music that you can escape to. I guess it's that. It's music that you can relate and escape to.
Yeah. I saw as well that you shared something on social media the other day, and I was chuckling to myself a little bit. So it was a throwback, for people that didn't see it, to an interview that you were doing in a sex shop. How did something like that?
Nothing gets past you.
How did that kind of thing come about for you?
So it was one of my first presenting jobs, and when you're first starting out, you're probably not as fussy as you are, and you don't have a clear direction on what you really want to do. And I went for a casting, and it was at a channel called Men and Motors. It was on ITV, I think it was, or ITN, I can't remember, ITV. And basically, they were just like, okay, we want you to go to the sex shop and interview this guy. And I thought, okay. And so that's kind of what I did basically, and I never did it again after. That was my first and last job with them. I think after that I got to the point where I was like, right, okay, I think now I need to focus and really think about what kind of presenter I want to be.
Yeah.
So I look very embarrassed.
And also, just obviously prior to that as well, what was it that got you into music journalism?
Well, it was music. basically. It was that, and then I started at local radio, a local BBC, and then I just started writing. I did a degree in film and journalism. So yeah, it was just kind of that, really. It was just working in TV and radio, and then I, decided I wanted to write. So then I started writing for Classic Rock magazine and various others, and then I worked on a book with some of my friends, and yeah, so it was just it just sort of went hand in hand with all the other stuff I was doing in the music world.
Yeah. Did you have anybody that influenced you to do that kind of thing as well?
No, actually. There wasn't really anyone that was doing definitely not women. There was probably men, maybe? I'm just trying to think. Maybe men, but I can't think of any. Well, writers-wise, a friend of mine he's now a mentor is Malcolm Dome. He's a rock journalist. I always used to love reading his stuff, and then we met. And then we wrote a book together called The Art of Metal. And then we've done various other bits and bobs together, like writing and stuff. So yeah, so I guess he's a mentor in that sense. But yeah, no, there was definitely no female influences out there.
Yeah. And with, obviously, you can do many different things in journalism, and you chose to have your niche as rock music. Do you think having your niche has helped your career along, or do you think it's hindered you in any way?
Interesting. It's I think it's helped, but it does limit your jobs. Definitely your work is limited. And I've had lots of people say to me, because I did start off in, doing film premieres and interviewing someone in a sex shop, so I've done various bits like film premieres, the sex shop thing, and then I worked at Capital Radio, so it was more the poppy stuff, which I never really enjoyed. And a lot of people have said to me, when it's not been that busy in the rock world, have said, you should open it up, you shouldn't just focus on the rock stuff. But I kind of always wanted to remain true to what I really want to do, and I don't just want to be a presenter. I made my mind up on that years ago. It's not what I want to do. I do what I do because I like the music. And so it has hindered it in that sense, but it's given me a niche, which I think is always good to have a niche.
Sure, yeah. With that niche, obviously, like you say, you didn't have any kind of female influences in journalism or anything like that. Do you think that the industry in itself look at male music journalists differently to the way that they look at female music journalists?
Yeah, they take them more seriously.
Yeah. Do you think that's obviously something that may change going forward? Do you think more people obviously are coming onto the scene wanting to kind of get involved that are females?
I would like to say yes. I think that there is definitely a need for it, obviously, and I think that the whole Me Too movement, even though it didn't feel like it hit England or the UK that much, as if you look at places like America, I definitely think it's changed people's attitudes a little bit, for sure. But then saying that, I've been I did a job with a big brand, and I was doing exactly the same job as a male presenter, and he got mentioned in all the promotion and I didn't, and I was like, that's not fair. So I said, I want to be mentioned as well. And they were a bit like, well, they came back with excuses, and I was just like, no, that's not right. We're doing the same job. Why don't I get a mention? It's bullshit. And that's the kind of stuff that you have to put up with, that I have had to put up with. I think other females have probably had to put up with the same rubbish as well, and being told things, that people just not thinking you're as good because you're a female, or if you are good and you are doing well at your job, it's because you've slept with musicians or you've slept with someone to get there. That's the kind of crap that's out there. But I think it might be changing. What
would you say to a rock music fan to kind of keep the spirit of the music industry alive? What advice?
During lockdown?
Yeah, definitely.
Keep listening. That's the only thing that's been keeping me sane right now is playing my guitar and I listen to music non-stop, and I do dance around my bedroom. I dance, actually not just the bedroom, I dance all over the house listening to my favorite tunes. So, and although I don't love all the live videos and stuff that's going on, and I know everyone's doing it, but I love the camaraderie of it. That's what I think is great, how everyone's just getting on, and it's about all being together in this. But I definitely don't want that to be the future of live music.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be really weird watching everything through a screen. I mean, this is even strange, isn't it? Doing interviews like
that. Yeah, it's really weird.
Do you think with the technology progression in the industry, do you think that in journalism technology is helping or hindering a little bit? Do you think it's lacking all kind of qualities where you used to handwrite things, send letters instead of being able to just fire over an email, that kind of thing?
Oh, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it, really? Because I think if you think about it, like to journalists like Malcolm Dome, like we were talking about earlier, if they didn't know anything about a band, like they actually had to be hired for their expertise. Yeah. Because we could go into a job and may not know anything about that band or whoever, and you just Google it, you do your research and it's done. Whereas Malcolm would have been hired because he knew his stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess, you've got that side of it, but there is something, that is nice when it's not so instant and it's not so easy. I quite like it to be hard sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Do you like a challenge?
I do like a challenge, yeah, for sure. I mean, when I'm doing a job, I always over-research anyway. Like I research because that's what I really enjoyed that part of it. Yeah. Like I love finding out the weird things, or they did that track with this person and that was because they worked with that. Like just finding out all the little. I go down a rabbit hole basically when I'm doing my research, and I enjoy that.
Sure. In terms of planning for any interviews that you do, obviously when you are at Download Festival, you must have many interviews in one day.
Yes.
How do you kind of prepare for something like that, or a big event?
Research, lots of research. Honestly, it's like I research, even though I know most of the bands and I don't have to, I still do research on every single person that I'm interviewing. I write all my questions down. I don't tend to really look at them when I'm doing the interview anyway, but I like just having them there just because sometimes you can have a bit of a brain freeze when you're interviewing, like however many we do in one day. What's the most I've done? Probably like 15 interviews in one day, which is... but then you ask all these amazing questions and you do all this research, and then when it comes to the edit, they just edit it down and they leave in the bit where you go, oh, you're having a great time at Download. It's boring. Yeah. You're like, what was the point in all that research?
Sure, I can imagine that's a little bit frustrating, but
yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who is starting out in the industry? Anybody who wants to do anything similar to what you've kind of been doing, the career path you've had? What would you kind of say to those people?
I would say do your research, make sure when you interview someone you go in fully informed, and basically I guess just network your ass off. That was really how I got on. If I wanted to work somewhere and the front door wasn't open and it wouldn't open, then I would go in the back door and work out a way in that way. And that's what you've got to do. You've just got to be clever with it.
Yeah, and I guess
it's not all going to just be easy peasy, land on your lap. And, if that person doesn't get back to you, fine. Oh, that person over there works there, so I'll go to that person and they'll you could just, there's ways around everything. So
yeah. What would you say your biggest fear is, career-wise?
Not getting any more jobs. the job you're doing is the last job you'll ever do. Yeah.
Yeah, and what are you most proud of from your career so far? Because obviously you've had a lot of amazing moments.
Yeah, I have. I really enjoyed going to Nashville with Def Leppard. That was amazing. I was really pleased with what we shot there. What else? Download, obviously. You know, I've covered that for SkyArts for 9 years now, so that's quite a long run. And then I've been working on that festival since 2004, so pretty much from the very beginning. So that's great. And I just think it's the writing side of it as well. You know, the books that I've done, and just not taking no. Like if someone says no, just not accepting it, and then not listening to the noise, and just, you know, doing what I want to do, basically.
Yeah, obviously with your job as well, you travel a lot. Like you say, you went to Nashville for Def Leppard stuff. Do you like to travel? Is that
Yes. That's what I found the hardest right now. Actually, right now, what are we? Yeah, I'm meant to be in LA right now with Def Leppard. And I was going to go via New York. So yeah, that's a bitch. So yeah, I do love the travel side of it.
Yeah. What would you say to your younger self if they met you now?
I would say try to enjoy the moments a little bit more. Right. Like I say, you're always doing a job and you think, is this going to be my last job? Screw it. If it is your last job, then have a freaking great time, you know? Enjoy it, take it in, and, you know, savor the moments.
Yeah. And what have you been listening to at the moment? Because obviously lockdown's got everybody.
Yeah.
Having fun.
I have been listening to a lot of Marcus King. I really enjoy him, and BB King, actually. I've always liked BB King, but I delved a little bit deeper during lockdown, and I was like, okay, I really, really like him now. And Hendrix, a lot of guitar stuff, because obviously with the guitar stuff, so I've gone back into Hendrix, a bit of Joe Bonamassa. He's been sending me some of his new tracks off his new album, so I've been listening to those, and that sounds incredible. What else? I tell you what, I've got a guilty pleasure, is Lady Gaga. I absolutely loved A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
So a song that I listen to on repeat the whole time is Always Remember Us This Way.
Mm-hmm.
It probably goes on once, maybe 3 times a day in my house. So yeah, I do really like that. So I've got Download coming up in June, which is obviously the virtual download, which will be interesting. So I've got that coming up, and I'm trying to do something with my guitar, a guitar series that I can't talk much about right now. So there's that. And then a few documentaries. My aim, I'm getting some paper chucked in front of me. It's lovely, thank you. My aim is to try and do some more directing. And so I really want to direct a music documentary. So that's what I'm trying to do at the moment, is come up with some ideas and stuff like that, and speak to a few people. So yeah.
You like pitching ideas for things as well, don't you? I know that's something that you kind of also do within your career as well. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We've got time for today, unfortunately, but it's been an
absolute. Thank you so much, and yeah, good luck with everything.
Thank you, and same to you, and I hope everything goes well with virtual download.
Brilliant, thank you. Yeah, good. All right, cheers, bye.